Hey everybody and welcome back. This is Dark Souls Remastered, Episode 11. I'm Fox with FoxeoGames, and we've been talking about Dark Souls Remastered, of course. And as well, the manosphere, masculinity, being a man, relationships, having frame, not deferring to the woman, not letting her make all the decisions, not looking to her for permission to live your life. And of course, all of this includes that frame, which is living your life by your rules and your way. Of course, that also includes the fact that you can't do that 100% because then, you end up getting arrested for doing illegal shit you shouldn't do. Of course, within reason, you have to function in a society, so you can't go around just punching people randomly in the streets. That tends not to work very well for the successful life. You got to do what you got to do for you. Build yourself, build your career, your finance. Oh, I really wanted dipshit Donald. Let's try to get him again. Oh no. Oh no, he's gone. It's all over now. Oh well. I did not anticipate actually having a summon for this fight. I can't think of the last time I had a summon for this fight. I think if you follow Solaire's... if you completely follow Solaire's storyline or his little path in life and Dark Souls, I do believe... oh shoot. I do believe that he is available for this fight. The Green Titanite Shard. Don't need him now, but whatever. Okay, that's probably it for the number of times I can do that. We're going to drag him onto this platform where we can fight him. It is really hard to hit that arm because if you dodge it, you only get like one hit sometimes, depending on the angle. See? That is such shit. Oh. Yeah, this fight is one of those fights that can be kind of bullshitty, kind of nonsense. It just depends on what's going on. Woo! That was close. Oh, shoot! I took a little bit of damage there. Oh, nice. And got him! He was just about to jump, too. What a sissy. I am drinking this coffee that my girlfriend loves. It's like her favorite coffee in the world. It is candy cane coffee. And it does have a very strong peppermint flavor. But the actual coffee is a little weak for my preferences. I prefer very, very strong brews. The darker, the better. Yeah, that lava sound is still really noisy. We talked about that before. This door is actually hard to see at certain angles. It's not outlined very well. This tunnel, rather. Interestingly enough, I think I'll mention his name because he's posting publicly on Twitter, but I was talking to Noah Antweiler. He goes by the Spoony One. He does, what is it called? The something effect. He has his own website. He used to be part of That Guy with the Glasses. He has his own YouTube channel. Early on, he had some of the best online content when it came to video game reviews. It was really good stuff. He was funny. He was interesting. He had his own unique angle. And it was just off-the-cuff kind of, makeshift, jerry-rigged. He was in his room with a cheap webcam or camera. He put together this, robot assistant made from, a vacuum cleaner. And he did little skits. And, that was back when I thought that stuff was really funny and cool. And a lot of people will still enjoy it today, I'm sure. I've grown out of it a bit. I don't like the skits as much and the angry video game nerd videos. And if I'm going to watch a review, I do enjoy them being funny. I just don't want the skits where they run around in outfits and throw stuff and pretend to beat each other up. It just feels... they're intentionally being juvenile. But to me, it almost feels like it's humor that I'm I've grown out of. There's different levels of humor, and if you guys still enjoy that, I don't care how old you are, that's fine. I'm really trying not to sound judgmental. I'm not saying I grew out of it as in, you know, everyone should grow out of it. I'm just saying that it's not my thing anymore. So Noah Antweiler was talking on Twitter, and this is a prime example of a man that had a lot going for him, let a lot of it slide, and I think, I can't say for sure, and certainly if he watches this, I would absolutely welcome him to comment and correct me if I'm wrong on anything, or at least give his side of the story. I'll try not to make it sound judgmental as best as I can. But I think he got really off track for a couple different reasons. Number one, there's this really common thing. It happens to a lot of the uploaders, like it happened to Angry Joe and one. They start to despise their own audience. They start to hate their own audience. They start to see nothing but the trolls and the hate. And then they attack the entirety of their audience, thinking that they're just attacking the trolls and the haters. Then they start to hate their audience because most of their audience is not as like left-wing liberal as they are. Because most people just aren't that left-wing liberal. Most people that vote Democrat are not as liberal as most of the Democrats they vote for. Most Democrats are far more reasonable than the actual candidates themselves. They don't want, you know, all this transgender nonsense. They don't want all this deny reality, deny the biology of sex and gender, deny truth and all this stuff. Come up with your own version of truth and have men compete in women's sports because the men just say they're a woman. You know, nonsense like that, most of them are not in agreement with. They're just, that is not something they're cool with. They don't like it, they don't agree with it, they don't want it. But it's something that the party pushes as a whole just because it's sort of taking control. I don't know, it's part of this tolerance movement, where tolerance is tolerating everything but the things you won't tolerate, if that makes sense. So Noah also got off track. There's videos about him when he started dating this woman. Now, my understanding is, and if I'm wrong about any of the details, then the overall story is accurate in terms of how things happen between men and women, even if the specifics of what I'm representing about him might be off, because it's been a while since I've watched the videos and kind of kept up with his situation. But this is a common situation. He met a woman, and instead of maintaining his frame and having her enter into his world and him continuing to be himself, he starts kind of adopting her frame. He starts doing things for her, doing things her way. She starts having a problem with some of his audience because why? Well, of course, his audience is sexist or racist or homophobic or Islamophobic or not left-wing liberal enough, or they support a Republican, or they like, you know, nowadays it would be they voted for Donald Trump, so they must be a horrible sexist, misogynist, racist pig, horrible, you know. And he starts moving in that direction. It's easy to move that way for a woman. You think that's what the woman wants. You think you're being kind of like a white knight for women, coming to the aid of women, because the women's need the men's to help them. They're just desperate, innocent, blameless little victims. And of course, as he does this, he starts attacking his audience, because some of his audience has a problem with this girl he's with, and how left-wing liberal she is, and how much of a woman she's trying to turn the spoony one into. She's trying to make Noah Antweiler act more like a woman, believe more like a woman, have opinions more like a woman. And he does. His content takes a nosedive, not only in terms of how much he produces, but in the quality of it. It starts getting laced with liberal left-wing agenda nonsense. He starts calling out racists and sexists and misogynists and all the other ists that usually have nothing to do with reality and are just ad hominem accusations. And as he does this, people call him out for it, and they say stuff about his new girl. And of course, what does he do? He runs to the aid of Milady. Of course, this is his girlfriend, so you would kind of expect that. And instead of calling her out for her bullshit, he calls everyone else out for calling her out for her bullshit. And he joins her in her bullshit. And he ends up creating this very antagonistic relationship between him and his audience. So now, instead of him and his audience getting along together and enjoying each other as in this mutually beneficial relationship, he's attacking his audience. He's telling his audience that they're terrible. He's banning and blocking everybody. He's criticizing them. And essentially, his audience is turning on him. And he sees it as, oh, it's the misogynist and the racist, and if you're a misogynist and a racist, I don't need you anyway. I never needed you anyway, because you're a misogynist and a racist and blah, 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 and an Islamophobe and homophobe, and you're a bunch of Trump supporters, blah, 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 right? Now, granted, this all happened, I think this happened prior to Trump being elected, although I'm sure he's probably anti-Trump, as most of the kind of the left-wing, extreme, liberal kind of YouTube personalities are. That sort of like dominated a lot of the tech world, and Silicon Valley is just full of left-wing extremists. So as he does this, he's losing his frame. He's giving up his frame to a woman. And long story short, he's losing money, and eventually she leaves him, as typically happens. Because I would assume that ultimately she got tired of him just, you know, following her lead, being her lapdog and all that. And that's not the way she would portray it. Women don't like to think that that's why they leave a man. That, you know, they want a man to do what they say, and that's not really what they want, but that's what they think they're supposed to want. You know, feminism teaches them all these toxic lies, the toxic feminism, which has so just ruined women in society in general. Taught them so many lies, so much horrible stuff. By the way, I use this kind of cheating way of getting around how cheesy and oh, what was the word for it? How much of a bullshit fight this Bed of Chaos is. You know, it just occurred to me that I probably should have leveled up with my 46,000 souls. Oh well. I'm in too deep now. As Phil Collins would say, I'm in too deep. So, she leaves him. I don't know if he found another woman or what, got back together with her, it doesn't matter at this point. By the way, guys, if a woman leaves you or you leave her, you end it, keep it ended. You ended it for a reason, it should stay ended. Don't get back together with an ex. That's a rule that's probably accurate 99.9% of the time. If you think your relationship is an exception, it's probably not. Okay? So, yeah. If you think you're an exception, you're almost certainly not. So basically, you should consider yourself not an exception. Oh, but Fox, no. Just, it's not worth it. There's plenty of women out there. Find a new one. Find a different one. Your efforts are always better spent finding another woman. That comes from the Rational Male, Rollo Tomasi. I didn't come up with that. Although I don't know if he was the original one that came up with it, but it's kind of from that movement. You know what? Sometimes I just cannot find the spot that activates this. You know, sometimes you're really trying to find that special spot that really gets things going. You know what I'm talking about. Come on. Come on. If you see stuff breaking, it's a good idea to continue to shoot until nothing breaks and then try a new spot. Because if something breaks, that means you didn't get all the way through. That doesn't apply to real life with relationships, guys. What the heck? Come on now. Am I just not in the right spot? Interesting that because of where I'm at, nothing is happening. Like, it's just dead silent. My goodness. I'm shooting all over the place and hitting nothing. It almost never takes this much effort. I think this is more shots than I've ever made in my life. There we go. Oh, we broke something there. I wish I'd stayed in that same spot. I moved it, not thinking it would break anything. Oh my goodness. Finally. Woo! Alright. Quit out again. Get back in. And this is where we might die. It's a little... The situation always gets a little hairy. It's a little... What's the word I'm looking for? Inconsistent. Yeah, this peppermint tea, or peppermint coffee is okay. If I'm going to do peppermint, I'd rather do peppermint tea. And just keep my coffee nice and dark and black. Sometimes with cream, milk, but not sugar. Never sugar. Okay, now we want to break everything open here. Okay, so we got down here. And we pretty much got it now. It's possible to die in here from the fire, but I don't think it's ever happened to me that I'm aware of. There we go. I don't get too mad about this boss fight, because if you think about it, you really had 3 boss fights in here. What was that? I shot up in the air. You had Ceaseless Discharge, which is an interesting fight, but mostly a gimmick fight. You had the Fire Sage Demon, which is kind of a rehash with fire. And then you had the Demon Centipede, which is a pretty solid, interesting fight. So you could really consider that to be the main boss battle. And this is the gimmick fight at the end. Kind of like in Demon Souls. Demon Souls had gimmick fights at the end of all the levels. Each level ended with a gimmick boss that you had to do some thing with that didn't really feel like a regular boss fight so much. And there we go. Alrighty. So now, all we have left are the Duke's Archives, right? And for that, we're going to go to Anorlando. Don't think we're going to do anything else with weapons. At this point, it doesn't look like we're going to level up or upgrade our scythe. So Noah made the mistake of getting off track in a lot of ways. He didn't maintain his frame. He lost his frame. He pretty much lost his career. If you look at Social Blade metrics, if you look at his Patreon, there was a nosedive in the amount of money and attention he was getting. And as sad as that is, that's pretty much how things are supposed to work. You're supposed to suffer consequences for doing things, whether good or bad. Consequences we always think are negative. They can be good consequences. Mostly we think of consequences being bad, but there's a reaction to things that we do. There are always consequences to actions. There are results of actions, if you think about it that way, the term result. And he got some negative results because he was doing some negative things. And sometimes you get negativity from doing the right thing, and hopefully that's never the case, but I think we know that happens sometimes. You can be punished for doing good things when you're not, when you shouldn't be, you know, the term should. Oh shit. This could be very bad. All right. We're going to run up here and Estes. They can't get all the way up here, so you're good at this point. Although if you want that bonfire, well, yeah, you got to figure out some way around that. I would not suggest skipping this bonfire because it's very easy to die up above. Before you get to the next bonfire. Very easy. I don't know why I thought I could do that. If they would just work together, they wouldn't be stuck there like they are. I'll tell you what. I have an idea. Let's try the large one, see if that does any better. Interesting that it does not make the sound of hitting metal, but it does the damage of hitting metal. 11, 11, 11. Okay, I don't think we're going to get past 11 here. There's no secret spot, is there? What about the body? Does that do more? Apparently not. No. $11, $10. Okay, yeah, that's not worth wasting the good ones on. This might take a while. But because he lost his frame, and because he made things about the woman, his life went awry. Everything started going the wrong direction. Especially after the girl left. Depression increases, because he'd struggled with it before, apparently. He feels like he can't even get out of bed. He can't do anything. He can't live his life. His audience, to him, seemingly appears to hate him and has turned on him, even though I think part of that is him turning on his audience. He was creating content that people didn't want to see and people didn't like. That's not what made him popular. You know, doing this stream of consciousness, just turn the camera on and chat about wrestling or chat about this, when what people wanted were his better scripted, more detailed reviews of video games. So he was making content that people didn't originally follow him for. Same thing as Angry Joe. Angry Joe gets popular doing all this video game review stuff, and then he moves away from it, and he wants to do more of this turn on the camera, him and 2 or 3 buddies just sit around talking about a movie they watched. I tried watching that. It's no offense to him, but I just find it incredibly boring. Some people like it, I guess. I find it's just really boring. It's just like watching I feel like I'm sitting in a pub somewhere at a table right across from 3 friends and just watching 3 friends talk. I'm not part of it. I'm not in on the inside jokes or anything, and it's just not interesting. So I don't know why he's creating that kind of content and expecting a good result out of it. So of course his popularity just nosedived. And I heard actually his what do they call those? They're like these YouTube groups that video uploaders group into. I always forget what stuff is when I'm doing these playthroughs. But anyway, his content creators group on YouTube dropped him, which is fine. I don't have one, and I don't think you need one. I think you're better off without one, to be honest. Okay, so now this one can get through, so hopefully he'll run up here and get us. And then I'll start hitting him with my blade and do a hell of a lot more damage than I'm doing now. Oh yeah. Oh, shoot. Oh, come on. Oh, the bullshit. The bullshit level is so high right now. Oh, so close. That's frustrating. What? Oh, that's frustrating. I've never actually death spawned here, so I didn't know upon death spawn that you break shit. Whatever. Okay, let's try this again. At least one of them's dead now. They don't respawn. That's the good thing. So the moral of that story is don't be like Noah Antweiler. Now, I gave him some great advice on Twitter. I don't think he'll take it. Most men are not ready to take good advice. Most men want to have a pity party and talk about how horrible their life is. And nowadays, I don't get it. Something about millennials. They love to just rest and blame depression. Oh, I'm so depressed. I can't do anything. I can't do anything. I can't go work out. Or I can't get a job. I'm just too depressed. You don't understand how hard it is. Depression is an illness in my brain, and I just can't do anything. Okay, well, I think most people have been there where they feel like they're depressed and they felt like they can't get out of it. Maybe you have some severe chemical imbalance, but we don't actually know that's what it is. We do not know what depression is. We do not know how to cure it if it is an illness or disease. We don't know exactly what all the factors are with it. So let's not pretend that we do, because we don't. Okay. God, jeez. Keep breaking lock on, and then it relocks on without my permission. Okay, we're running. We're running. We're running. We're running. We're running. We're running. And, yes. By the way, watch this. Two-hand, and you can just keep hitting without bouncing off. See, I thought I'd bleed him, but I guess he doesn't bleed, huh? Or he's just really, really high bleed resistance. I did not get the boar helm that he dropped, but whatever, who cares? The earlier one. Don't care about this one so much. Alright, we're not going to boost that or kindle that bonfire. We don't need to. It's not really important. Alright. So, one thing to be careful of is I think a lot of these YouTubers and content creators become overly political. I have become political because they are. Now, let me explain why. I'm not saying I'm doing it, you know, I know you're, but what am I? This is not a Pee Wee Herman kind of thing. This is I tried to keep everything about video games. I tried to keep the political angle out of it. But these content creators out there just wanted to push and push and push and push their left-wing agenda. And finally, I said, you know what? We need some conservatives to start speaking out, because I don't want young people, especially millennials, thinking that conservatives are these evil, horrible old people that are all racists and misogynists and they hate everything that isn't like them. And that's just a completely inaccurate caricature and very, very, very just horrible way of thinking that's incredibly intolerant and discriminatory. But yet that's what these very tolerant millennials are pushing. And I wanted to say, no, that's not how it is. You know, I know a lot of conservatives. I know many of them are married. Several of them are married to people that are not the same race as them. I think, I can't remember where it was. I should have kept it. But they even did a study that said that Republicans were more open to marrying outside of their own race than Democrats, according to a survey. Now, I don't know how they got the survey or how much how much how much you can trust that survey, how accurate it was, but that's what it said anyway. Oh, you know what? He's not going to drop the he's not going to drop this amulet, is he? I forgot all about that. We need to go get that, don't we? Okay, I tell you what, we'll do that after the Duke's Archives. I totally forgot about the expansion area. Ulasil. The Prepare to Die additional content. We definitely need to do that. We'll do it after this. But I wish I'd remembered so I could have gotten things ready and picked up the amulet from him. That's bullshit. I'm surprised he didn't jump away. Oh, we got him. Wow, that is so rare to actually get him in the first round of attacks without him disappearing. Man, the damage these things do is just insane. Gosh darn it. There we go. Woo! That one was my fault. I just made a bad dodge. Normally it's the game's fault when I fail, DSP style. You know, y'all know what I'm talking about. All right. But this time it was me. I actually misjudged a dodge for once. First one in the entire playthrough so far. I love how these books just hover in the air and they still haven't fixed this shit. The nice thing about the katana is if you got one of those enemies or players that likes to just hold their shield up, especially if they have a great shield, you can just bleed them out through the shield. So it's not a positive strategy to just sit there and block like it would be with a lot of other weapons. Unbelievable that took 4 one-handed R1s. Okay. Those guys can drop the crystal sword, which is a pretty good weapon. Of course, crystal weapons cannot be repaired. They just break when they break, and that's that. Is there an item back in here, or are they just guarding nothing? Oh, yes. Now I remember. And I think there's another one around the corner right there. Right? No? Yeah. Yep. My memory. Oh. I didn't do as much damage as I thought it would. But yeah, these guys do a heck of a lot of damage. And then when they're coupled with the extra damage they get from the channeler, whoo, that can be pretty significant. Okay, that first hit should have hit him, but whatever. Whatevs, bro. Alright, and then this is, yeah. Am I sure I want to do this? No. Got him, okay. Yeah, that was totally unneeded and unnecessary. I'm not going to use that shield, and I just took a chance that I could mess that up and died. Alright. There's the Avalon. Just, I don't know, it's a good bow. I don't care so much for it. The Avalon was insane for PvP in the early days of Dark Souls 2. It was just ridiculous. And then everyone and their mother used it because everyone wanted to have the most overpowered gear. Because to them, it was all about winning and not about having fun. But then again, maybe for them, having fun is about winning. So I guess I gotta say they're doing what they do, you know? Twinkling? Yes, 2 twinkling. Can use that on my armor. My armor. Okay, so that was pretty pointless to chug. Those of you that know about Dark Souls know why. But watch this, guys. In case you didn't know, the only fog wall in the game that allows you to do this. To get on down. Nope, not today. Because we have no plans to ever... We're still wearing the orange shard ring. Because we have no plans to ever... use it again. Oh, hang on, guys. Hold up. All right, sorry about that, guys. We had an interruption, but that's okay. It gave me a chance to get up and get a fresh pot of hot coffee. So anyway, we're going to equip the Ring of Sacrifice. And because we only have a rare one, then that's what we're equipping. I don't anticipate ever using this ring anywhere else, so at least it'll keep our 2 humanity, stop us from being cursed, and allow us to keep our souls. Oh, that hurts, doesn't it? Yeah, the big concern here is you do not want to be cursed. Do not be cursed. If you have the Curse Bite ring, wear it. Okay? It's a good idea. But because I had the rare Ring of Sacrifice, I didn't need that. But if you only had a regular Ring of Sacrifice, then also wear the Curse Bite ring. You definitely don't want the curse. So we were talking about Noah Antweiler. I think it's important to keep in note that had he maintained his own frame, he wouldn't have been with that woman. And he would have dumped her soon after. Or she would have straightened up and acted right in the first place. She wouldn't have tried to control him, tell him how to run things. And, you know, a lot of women will do this and not even realize they're doing it. Just, you know, you got to be careful. Oh, dear. Okay, yeah, well, that's that. I thought I could run in there and just tackle them all at once. Apparently not. That's okay. We're merely seconds away from our corpse, as we used to say back in the day. I used to play this game called Legends of Kesmai, or Kesmai. It was K-E-S-M-A-I, Legends of Kesmai, K-E-S-M-A-I. Check it out, really cool game. There's a game that's similar to it that's available on Congregate, spelled with a K. It's, okay, this game, the bullshit level, is just over the top. Uh-oh. And, okay. Well, it was a little tougher than it needed to be, but we did it. And now we'll get the key. Okay, and actually, it's going to be a good idea to kindle this, so we'll do this again, but we won't fight the 3 crystal soldiers, or whatever they are. The crystal undead. We'll skip that part. 1 kindling will be enough. We're not fighting the boss in this bonfire. But we are opening the door. And now we gotta listen to this horrible, horrible sound. Sometimes those guys will just ignore you and run up. Sometimes they'll make a beeline to attack you. I don't need any of the items here. The only one I really want is the Firekeeper's Soul. We have to come back for that with the key later. So we'll just push through this. Okay, pretty sure that's not a thing. That he didn't actually hit me, but whatever. They will come down after us, so we may run into some issues with them ganging up on us down at the bottom here. But that's okay. It's going to happen. Woo! You just don't want them to grab you. The grab attack right there. There we go. Okay. These are one-time kills. They each drop a special spell or item or something. We'll see. We'll see here. I don't even know if they attack. Do they? No, okay. And they're both faith-based miracles, which we don't need, can't use, and don't care about. But what we do care about is being a man. So ultimately, I hate to say don't be like somebody, because Noah Antweiler, I talked to him on Twitter. I gave him some great advice. I told him what to do to get out of his situation. I don't think he's ready for it. I don't think he really wants to be out of it. I think there are people that, for whatever reason, they just like being stuck in the situation they're in. They're so used to it that their misery is all they know. It's just normal for them, and they think it's just how things are going to be. It's just how it is. It's just how I am. You know what I mean? You know, it is possible to parry 2 enemies at once. Okay. I don't know if I really agree with how this game is operating right now. So anyway, dying a lot more than I usually do. I'm probably just slightly off on my timings. I'm not as good as I used to be with this game. Nope. Almost a one-shot. Okay, no. I had my shield up, so no. No game. No, Dark Souls. That did not hit me through my shield. I had my shield up. Hit detection has never been the strong point of any of these games, and it is really, really critical that it should be. Dark Souls 2 in particular had the worst hit detection, I think, of any game I've ever seen, or at least any game I'd ever even remotely want to play. There were certainly games that had worse detection, but they were just garbage. You know, people do things like the top 10 worst games of 2019. Well, if you really pick the worst games, they're going to be games that no one's heard of, that are just utter garbage, not even interesting. People generally pick the most interesting games that weren't as good as they should have been, so they're really not the worst. But anyway, the Noah Antweiler story. Keep your frame, focus on what you need to do, and don't forget where you came from and how you got to where you are. I think it's easy for people to forget that, especially if you have that mentality that, oh, you know, woe is me, and not sure I agree with that hit that got me there. Got him. Please tell me that was a one-shot kill, because I really need that guy. Oh, shoot. Okay. Boy, these guys are really annoying. I can't seem to get them separated. They want to be, like, stuck on each other. There we go. Got him. Okay, he's gone. Should be easy peasy now. Got it. Okay. Now, we do need a key to get the Firekeeper's Soul. Believe it or not, this key is not that key. This is the key to open that door at the top. You could actually leave the alarm going. It doesn't matter. It changes how the enemies react, but if you don't care, you can leave the alarm going. I personally don't want that loud, annoying noise running. We probably won't defeat Seath in this episode, since we've got about 7 minutes left. I don't think we're going to make it all the way to Seath, especially since we have to run back here with that key to open up that gate to get to our Firekeeper's Soul. Although, honestly, we could really complete the game with +5 Estus Flasks. That's fine. Not 5 Estus Flasks usages, but +5 on it. I thought the Dark Souls 2 system was interesting, of how each shard you get gave you 1 additional refill per bonfire, and then you also got the other item, what was it, Sublime Bone Dust? That enhanced how much it healed each drink, so you had 2 ways to kind of upgrade your Estus Flask. I thought that was cool, but I didn't agree with them starting you out with, like, what, 2 or 3 or something? Or 1? And then they couldn't decide if they wanted consumable healing items like Demon Souls, or a refillable healing item like Dark Souls, so they just kind of went with a hash of both that didn't really work, in my opinion. So, whatever. Alright, we're going to draw this guy out. Oh, I got lucky. That bow practically went right, or that arrow went right through me. Probably should have hit me, but didn't, thank goodness. Not going to complain about the hit detection failing there. Worked in my favor. Okay, so this area up here can be very tricky and will be the source of a lot of deaths. I'm glad he did that because we got him. Awesome. Okay, well that solved a lot of problems already. That could have been much harder, but we got him. Oh, shoot. You really don't want to get hit by these guys even once. It drains so much health and can stagger quite a lot. There we go. Okay. So we're looking pretty good. Don't need any of the... I don't need any of the chests around here, so we're not going to bother with those. We're just going to get situated, and my goal is to hit the bonfire. And once we're at the bonfire, probably call the episode at that. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm not going to get shot in the back. That's not fair, is it now? Getting shot in the back. So the lesson, like I said, from Noah Antweiler is you maintain your frame so that you don't let someone else control it, and then they basically, I don't want to say ruin your life, but they wreck things in your life. They damage stuff in your life. They do a lot of financial damage, career damage, social damage. You know, like when a woman says horrible stuff about you to your family and friends, and some of them, being the white knights that they are, just will believe her and take her word for it, and then now you've got, you know, family and friends that used to be your family and friends that are acting like they're her family and friends, siding with her and agreeing with her. And I guess I should have killed him first. Yes, I should have killed him first. Why did I do that? Whatever. We're gonna kill this guy. We can just barely get him before he gets us. Okay, we got him. Awesome. And we're going to hit the bonfire before anything else here. I don't want to screw this up. I do think it's really cool how you get to the bonfire by opening up this wall. That's pretty nifty. Alright, this is it, guys. We're going to call it. We're going to call the episode here after I level up with an additional 1,100 souls. Hang on, I got this. Let me go over here, because every now and then I get shot while standing next to the bonfire. And that's really not my goal this time. Well, really ever. It's never been my goal to get shot at the bonfire. Let's see, we got this right here. Okay, that'll do it, that'll do it. I will say, although I thought the game looked a little weird with the reshade, I do think reshade probably looks better than the game on its base coloration. Reshade is a mod I installed. If you are a console only guy, you may not know. When we say mod, we don't mean like changing the look of your console or cheating. You install mods, usually graphics mods, audio mods, mods that change text in the game, or mods that make things easier or show you additional stats. There are a lot of different mods that you can use in different games. Some support mods by default, like all the Oblivion games, the Fallout games. Some don't support mods necessarily, but you can use some mods, especially like mods that modify the graphics. Those are typically pretty easy to apply to games, even if the game doesn't support mods out of the gate. All right, we got 15 Estus Flasks. That should be enough. I don't think we're gonna need to upgrade it again. Although at the rate we're going, we're just gonna do it because we have almost 40 humanity. Uh-oh. You know what, guys? I really did not want this episode to go this long, but it looks like we have an invasion. So let's roll with it. Let's make it happen. Dark Spirit 713. Well, now I hope he's not going to play games and hide, because I really don't want that. one of the annoying things is that if a person invades and just hides on you, well, your only choice is to go either defeat the boss or, you know, forcibly close the game. And neither is preferential if you're not planning to defeat the boss yet. So that's the thing. I don't know what we're doing here. Oh, we got that asshole shooting at us. Okay, see, I thought he actually hit me. Well, it's good to know he didn't hit me. He wasn't being cheap. But that jerk with the bow and arrows hitting me. Oh, he's still blowing everything up, isn't he? Bashing everything all to heck. Can I get in a position where I can hit him and he can't hit me? That would be cool. Oh, there we got him. Okay. Well, now we've created our arena. Shall we make this happen? Oh. Now we can make this happen. We'll do this, the bow. So I guess I won't heal. Hopefully he's not all twinked out, because I'm certainly not all twinked out. Oh, nice. Oh, yes. Yes. That was some lovely old school dueling. Oh, 22,862. Not bad. Wait a minute. Who's shooting at me? Oh, the channeler. I didn't kill that channeler. That's right. We're going to kindle this again. Take it up to 20. Kick it up a notch. Alright guys, well we're going to end on that. That's a great note. That went really well for me. Not so much for him. So that was a good fight. But, you know, to his credit, he did not take advantage of the enemies attacking me. So, good for him, right? Well guys, I'm Fox with FoxeoGames. Thanks for watching. I hope you join me for the next episode, episode 12 of the Dark Souls Remastered playthrough. Make sure to follow me on social media, Twitter most of all, links in the description. And as always, I will see you guys next time, and make sure to maintain your frame.